All right, here we go. Oh, man. Hi, Todd. How are you? Just getting ready here, getting my apron on. Oh, tonight is going to be lime and ginger chicken with a nice curry mango. Hi, Shana. How are the kids? Hopefully everyone's staying healthy. Get ourselves ready here. I have done so much laundry today. Khaki Britswa, how are you doing? Oh, you're having a stressful day. Need a break. Yeah, I bet we all do. All right. First things first, wash your hands. Wash your goddamn hands. So I hear that idiot back in the United States wants to reopen the economy ASAP. Oh, man. Well, there's not going to be anyone in the economy if they're all sick or dead. So you have that. All right. Make sure you do at least 20 seconds. Soap, hot water. Oh, I learned something today. The most important thing about your soap, if it's not hand sanitizer, is to use a soap that lathers. Remember, air dry or a clean paper towel. Or those clean paper towels. Alrighty. And then, of course, as I always say, because you don't want to have all your food prepped and have to wait on your oven, preheat your oven first. So today what we're going to do is we're going to preheat our oven to 200 degrees Celsius, 400 degrees Fahrenheit. That'll do her. Okay, so right off the bat, cheers everybody. Tonight brought to you by a gin and soda with a squeeze of lime. So I was talking to one of my friends that said they really enjoy watching this, but they were having a hard time with some of the ingredients. So what I'm going to do right now, everyone go ahead, grab paper, pen, all that fun stuff. I've listed out my ingredients down here, and I'm going to tell you everything you're going to need. Kenny, today we're making ginger and lime baked chicken with a mango chutney, a spicy mango chutney. So you're going to need 3 large mangoes. When you're shopping for your mangoes for this recipe, don't get the green ones, don't get the red ones. Get the ones that are about half and half, because when you cook these down, you're going to want something that has a mango flavor but still has a little bit of toughness to it. Otherwise, you're just going to end up with like a complete mush. And that's not really a chutney as much as it's like a coulis. I-O! Shannon said O-H-I-O. That is the shirt I'm wearing. So 3 large mangoes, half ripened. You're going to need 1 large red onion, a green bell pepper, a red pepper, 2 to 3 chilies of your choice. I just grabbed little red chilies. The package I buy also comes with a Scotch bonnet. I'll probably leave that out because I can mix that up for something else if I need to heat up a dish. Alicia wants the recipes in writing. Tell you what, I'll go back to all the previous videos and I will either put in the description if it allows me to, or I'll put in the comments all the recipes and ingredients. I'm going to use 4 chicken breasts for today's recipe. You're going to need green limes as some people call them. You're going to want some ginger root, some mustard seeds, yellow curry, sugar, and orange juice. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get started with our chicken, because while that's cooking, we're going to let our chicken cook for about 25 minutes. So while that's cooking, we can get started on the chutney. Now, I normally will serve this dish with like a basmati rice or a wild rice mix, something like that. It's really up to you. If you want to go the healthier route, I suggest sauteing some spinach with garlic and maybe using a little bit of cayenne or something. It should be a hot and sweet dish, in my opinion. So we're going to go ahead and get our chicken started. My clean cutting board. Now, just just so you guys know, this is the Pyrex dish I'm going to use. I like to really kind of pack my chicken in. I'll show you how I do it. We're going to cover it with tin foil for like the first 5 to 8 minutes, and then we're going to let it cook off afterwards. And I put a lot in here, so stick with me. All right, let's go ahead. Got my chicken. Let's get my gloves on, because I'm going to deal with raw chicken. We don't want any. Remember, cross-contamination is a terrible thing. We're all trying not to get sick. Don't make yourself sick cooking. Before I touch the chicken, I'm going to have a sip. Cheers. All right, now, another thing I like to do, of course, I left it over here. I actually like to put a color-coded cutting board on top of my wooden cutting board, because there's a whole different disinfectant thing that has to go in when you're dealing with chicken, poultry, stuff like that. So I use blue for fish, green for vegetables, yellow for red meat, and or yellow for chicken. I'm going to use the red today for the chicken because it's clean and I grabbed it first. So you're going to take your nice and frosted chicken. I've got just normal size, boneless, skinless chicken breasts, right? Put those all out. And actually, you know what? I am going to take my gloves off. Going to get a new set of gloves because I was told yesterday that people liked the downward angle, so you can see what I'm doing. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use a fillet knife for my chicken, right? I've got my green cutting board for my veggies. Take this here. Make sure you guys can see what's going on. All right. I think that will work. Hopefully you guys can see everything. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to slice my limes up. What I've already done is I've already pre-grated some ginger. Just simply take a ginger root. You can take a vegetable peeler, peel that skin back, and just go through a cheese grater. A cheese grater. Go through a cheese grater. You just get nice like this. We're just going to dust over the top of our chicken, all right? First things first, though, let's get our green limes, huh? And what we're going to do is we're going to cut juicy but thin slices through the entire wheel, like so. All right, about 1/4 inch. If you actually have a mandolin, you can use your mandolin as well for these, but it's gonna have to be really sharp because lime skin tends to be like leather. So I'm going to get 4 of these going, and then see if I can get one more out of this, and I'll have to get another one. Good. It's a little thick, but we'll deal with it. All right, so then I'm going to take my slices here, and I'm just going to cut them in half, so you get nice little semicircles. You can also cut your limes in half and then cut it this way, but I like to see the width that I'm going at, so that's fine. So I've got all these ready. You can set these aside at the moment. And then what we're going to do is we're going to bring our chicken back here. All right, got our glove on. The other one on. Oh my God, these are impossible to get on right now. Okay. It's not really working. Okay, there we go. Good, so I've got my chicken. It's probably going to be too big for the board, but we'll work with it anyways. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my fillet knife here, and I'm literally just going to intersect here on the chicken. Just enough. We don't want to go too deep. It's just going to be enough to fit one of our limes in, like so, because that's going to go inside and outside and all over the chicken, but it's not going to be too deep that it dries the chicken out, right? One like this. Get her in like that. Beautiful. Beautiful. Turn that around. I actually like it better that way. Okay, like so. Like so. Let's move on to this one. Actually, you know what? I'm going to have to disinfect this board because I am running out of room. Tough. That's what happens sometimes. Oh, wrong side. Okay. And on the last one, we'll go again. Lovely. Okay, now if you notice, I didn't throw away the end of my limes because what I'm going to do is I'm going to squeeze those on top of the chicken, right? So let's get this glove off, leave one on because you're still going to have to touch your chicken. We're going to take our nice Pyrex dish here. Can you see this kind of? All right, good. All right, I've got some butter here out of the fridge and I'm literally just going to rub it all along the base and the sides here. And that's going to cook up nicely with the chicken. Okay, give it a heavy layer. You're not going to kill it. Then I'm going to take a white wine. And I'm just going to give it a little bit of a bath. About, I don't know, 1/4 inch of white wine. All right, now we can take this. And we can pack these in here nice and tight, right? I'll take this big boy right in there. That's going to be good. Get that line back in there. Now, take my other glove off. Oh, there's that. You guys can see that? Good. All right. Now we're going to take our ginger here. And we're just going to go all up over the top here. This is gonna give it a nice little bath. Now because this is almost swimming in the wine, I'm not going to cover it. If your chicken isn't covered by your white wine, then you can cover it with a little bit of tin foil to keep the moisture in. But the way we have it now between the butter and the wine, it's gonna be just lovely. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to pop this in for 25 minutes into the oven, all right? So pop that bad boy into the oven, and then I'm going to clean up everything that the chicken's touched. Gorgeous. Disinfect the bowl and the board later. Oh no, I forgot the lime squeeze on top. Don't worry, you can rarely screw cooking up. All right, now that we've done that, we can get started on our mango chutney. And more gin soda. Okay, so to start, I have diced up our mangoes into about 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch pieces. That's what you're going to want to use, and we're just going to get this going in I use a Teflon pot because we're going to be dealing with sugars and juices and all that stuff, and as it starts to cook down, if you're not careful, it'll just start to burn and caramelize on the bottom, and it's a pain in the ass to get off. But we're going to try and keep this moving the entire time. I've also got my cup of white sugar set aside. I have used, I set this out because I want to show you guys. So this was a gift from Mary Pat when we were in Dublin. So this is kind of a multi-mandolin, right? This one here will actually give you cross cuts and a fair slice when you're doing your red onions like this. So it gives you a nice dice, and you don't have to sit there for half an hour forever just going through and going through and going through and crossing and cutting in little slits. Basically, you just take your red onion, you go straight across, you give it a quarter turn, you come back. Don't bring it back and turn it, because then you've got cuts everywhere and you'll get long strings and it's a mess. So go, quarter, go, and it makes it really easy, because then you take it all out of here, you dump it into a bowl, and it's ready to do a cooking show on Facebook. All right. Then I've got my red and green peppers that you've just kind of diced into these sort of pieces. So the onions and the peppers are going to cook the quickest, so we're going to add them in to the hot mango mix. So to get started, I'm going to drag the phone back over, and I'm going to show you how we do that. We're just going to get started with butter and a little bit of OJ and the mangoes. Ooh, let's bring you guys up over here. I think that'll do. Hopefully you can see the boiler. I think you can. Ooh. Yeah, gorgeous. All right. So first thing we're gonna do is get our butter in here. About a quarter of a cup. That'll do. I mean, butter's delicious, so you can't overdo it. Don't be afraid. Let's get my old man stove going. It's another gift I'm going to get myself when all this is over, is a proper stovetop. But I didn't plan on doing a cooking show. All right, so we're going to let our butter melt down. Break it up a bit to help it. And as I try to do all the time, the reason why I started the chicken first is that when the chicken's going, it shouldn't take you more than 20-25 minutes to get your chutney done. Now here's a little hint to the wise. I'm making enough chutney to use tonight, and also to put into this jar and keep for later, because it's really good on, I mean, you can use it with an omelet, you can use it with salmon, it goes really well with shrimp. So if you're into making different dishes, because you know, we're gonna be locked down for a while till we figure this thing out. So you can have chutney with a couple of things, and you may run out of wanting chicken, to be honest with you. All right, we're just gonna get them all going in there. Get those going around. We're gonna let these stew up for a while. Now you can see how there's kind of a little difference here between, let's say, this one and this one. One's almost a pineapple color, one's like a cantaloupe color. We want them all to kind of get this color. That way, when we start adding all of our different ingredients in, everything's gonna cook nicely together. And then you can remove it for about 5 to 10 minutes while your chicken finishes off, because that's going to let it all kind of congeal. You know, chutney is almost like a, I don't know, I kind of describe it like an Indian jam, right? All right. So now while those are going there, I'm gonna have another sip of my cocktail, and then we're gonna start dicing up the peppers. Oh, hi, Will, PJ, JP. Oh, God, everyone must be so bored. They're watching the show. All right, so what we're going to do over here, I'm going to sit you guys. Let's see if I can. Yeah, there'll work. All right, I'm going to get a differently color-coded cutting board. We're going to use the yellow one here. Now, what I would suggest is putting a glove on, just because most people touch their hands and their faces a lot. And after dealing with peppers, you know, you don't want to make a huge mistake of touching your no-no zone or your eyes. So you can see here at my lovely grocery store, they give you a nice mix, and there's this is a Scotch bonnet and or a habanero. We're not going to use that tonight, like I said, but I was daring enough that I took a bite of one of these bad boys, and that allows me to gauge that for what I have, I'm going to use about 3 of them. All right. we're just going to take these. Oh, we don't need a bread knife. We're going to get rid of our tops here. Some people like to get rid of the seeds on these things. You know, they vein them out, if you will. So that would be something like cutting down the center here. And then you can take your knife and you can kind of scrape out there, right? I'm not too worried about that. We're going to put a bunch of mustard seed in here and stuff like that. So I'm going to leave the seeds in for a little bit of heat. But you do want to take this white vein out. You don't want that. So we're going to get rid of that bad boy. Cut this one here. So I'm going to get rid of some of the seeds, but I'm not really going to be too conscious if they're in there or they're not in there, right? Give these a turn. Always keep this stuff moving, like I said in the beginning, guys, because otherwise you're going to get stuff sticking to the bottom of your pot and pan, and that's not really what you want. Just go ahead and give these a nice little mince. I want them as small as I can get them for this recipe, just because I want a nice mix in there. I kind of want them to be all over the place. Even though the oil will distribute, and that's where the real heat comes from, it also just makes a nice look to it in the end when you kind of have all these little red and green peppers and these onions around and stuff. Alrighty. Go ahead. We're just going to toss these right into our mix here. Oh, you can smell them right away. Really nice and fragrant. So you can see the color changing on these a little bit. We're going to let that go for a little longer. Oh, man. Okay, well, that cooks down a little bit. I'm just going to see through these comments, what everyone's saying. William Lynn, auto magic, baby. I'm supposed to massage the limes first. Thanks, Charlie. Oh, man. And Bean's here. Bean decided to leave Germany and fly back right to the epicenter of hell. I hope everyone in the U.S. is staying safe. It is mango chutney, William. We're making mango chutney with ginger lime chicken. We've got the chicken in already. You missed that part. Are those peppers too strong for someone who could use a jalapeno or something not as hot? Shannon, really good question. So actually, these peppers are going to be less spicy than a jalapeno. It's more of just a warmth. A jalapeno is actually going to give you that like really strong bite. So this is something that just kind of gives you a heat, right? Alrighty, those are cooking down nicely. Now at this point in time, I'm going to add just a little bit of normal store-bought OJ. There's no exact measurement. It's kind of just I don't know, that might be a quarter cup, maybe half a cup. Oh, this is looking really nice. I'm going to give this a little salt and pepper just to taste. Pretty much because you should use salt and pepper on almost everything. It's a good balancing ingredient. All right, now at this rate, I can see that my mangoes are starting to soften up, but they've still got a little bit of bite on them. So it's safe to add your red and green bell peppers, right? So I'll take you guys back over here real quick. There we are. We're just going to go ahead and get those in. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to enter them almost like we're baking. I'm going to enter them in stages so that I've got a lot of different textures going on in here. Some are going to be completely cooked down. Some are going to have a little bite and crunch on them. But ultimately what's going to happen is that this is all going to reduce down really nicely into kind of a jam with a consistency. Or a preserve, as some might say. Now, some of those you can see didn't get diced up properly, but we just mash them in the pot. Cutting with a spoon. Nothing can go wrong here. All right, so not to bore you guys to tears, but for those of you that joined... Oh, God, sorry, I didn't mean to drop you. For those of you that joined late, I'm going to give you a run through the recipes again. Like I said, my previous recipes... I will try to go back to the videos and put all of the ingredients and methods in there. So if you have... Hi, Carlos Rodriguez. How are you, darling? Greetings from WeHo. Greetings from Berlin to WeHo. You're going to start with 3 mangoes, half ripe. You don't want all the way red. You don't want green. It's going to be too much. 1 red onion, large as you can get it. 1 green bell pepper, medium size is fine. A red pepper, 2 to 3 chilies, depending on your heat. You can go from the red chilies that I put in just to bring some warmth up to it. You can go to a jalapeno to put a spike on it. You can do a Scotch bonnet to really light it up. You can go scorpion like Kenny's mom does in Trinidadian cooking. You can go to ghost pepper if you want that African like burn your face off heat. It's really up to you guys. A chutney, you can have no peppers at all if you just want something sugary to put on your food. We did a cup of sugar is going to go into this, a couple splashes of OJ, 4 chicken breasts, some grated ginger, mustard seeds, and what else do I have going on here? Oh, we're going to put some yellow curry in a little bit. All right. All right, so we're going to put the rest of these red and green peppers in. And that's also going to be the time where we start to add in our sugar and our mustard seeds, all right? All righty, so now we've got all of our peppers at a level here. 3, maybe ultimately 2 levels based on the cook time here. Now with the mustard seeds, you don't really have to be shy. They're really nice. Do them whole, guys. Whole mustard seeds, all right? Something like that. A handful's good. Get that in. I use even more when I'm pickling. Ooh, I've got pickled onions still from the very first episode that I'm going to throw on top of this dish. Those are going to go perfect. They've been sitting for days. All right. Get that going. Smell of vision, right? All right, at this time, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take my whole chopped red onion. A little more. Oh, yay. Now, some people cover this. I like to leave it uncovered, to be honest with you guys, just because I like it to reduce. Now, if you cover it, that's fine, but just realize at the end, even when you add your sugar and whatnot, when you take this off of the heat, you're going to have a lot of liquid from all of these ingredients that are going to have to find a way to reduce out, or you're just going to have like a watery chutney, right? So we're just going to let this keep cooking, and as all this steam comes off, it's actually tightening everything up together. The reason I put my sugar in towards the end is I want everything to get to the consistency that I want it at. And then it'll all start to congeal. So that's why I use the OJ, because the sugars in the OJ are what's actually going to help these keep going. I say a lot. I fancy my own cooking, to be honest with you. And you know what? For shits and giggles, we're going to throw some of that ginger in here. Why not? Fuck. Get that going. Don't be afraid of your seasoning, guys. Seasoning is your friend. All right, I'm gonna kind of leave this to all sit and really get going. Because we're gonna let it sit for a little bit longer, throw some OJ in there. It's the rest of the canister anyways. Into the recycling bin. Which means I'll have to take it out later because I actually can't recycle that box. But I had the right idea. All right, well, this cooks down. See if you guys have anything fun to say. Hi, Moleko. Good to see you here. Thomas cleaning. Wow, so many people I haven't seen. My cousin Nora, Chris, and AJ are here. You guys just joined. Sorry not to bore anyone watching. I'm going to go over the ingredients again because Chris and AJ are like, what? We missed it? What are we cooking? What are the ingredients? So, and Bean's there just giving all the happy faces and wows. So today we're making ginger and lime baked chicken with a spicy mango chutney. Once again, everybody, pens and papers ready. 3 large mangoes, 1 red onion, a green bell pepper, a red bell pepper, 2 to 3 chilies. Use the pepper of your choice. 4 chicken breasts, limes, ginger, mustard seeds. I'm going to throw some yellow curry in here when I put the sugar in, and some OJ. We've preheated to 220, 400 for you all, 200 to 220, about 400 degrees Fahrenheit. For US stoves, you've got the fans and all that stuff. 400 will be fine. Yes! Our chicken is just looking gorgeous. Our chutney is chutnifying. Oh, it just smells delicious. Okay, so at this point, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take 2 teaspoons of yellow curry, because I love that flavor. Heaping teaspoons. Right? I might even add some more later. I really like yellow curry. I'm going to take my cup of white granulated sugar. That's going to go right in here. Now I'm adding this at the end because I've gotten things at about 3/4 to the consistency that I want. So there's a bit of chemistry involved here. At 3/4 of the consistency you want, you're still going to go another 1/4 of the way to give it that kind of mush, but you still want some sort of consistency to it. But it's going to allow the sugar to congeal with everything. So the sugar needs the heat to congeal, but at the same time, your food's going to continue cooking down. So that's why you have to go in stages. You can't just chuck everything into a pot, mix it, and hope it's hot at the end. Pull our chicken out right now and see what that looks like. Now, because we covered our chicken in wine and butter, you make it something that almost looks like a white, like not broiled. What's the word I'm looking for? Poached chicken. So sometimes what I'll do is right at the end, I'll just finish that off in a pan real quick to give it a brown look, because this kind of like white, sickly looking chicken is really good for soups, not for like a plated dish. Oh, it looks just fine though. Leave that chicken in. Chicken's got about 5 more minutes on it, I think. I'm gonna bring you over to the chutney. This chutney is looking marvelous. So we're gonna let this really reduce down. I'm going to serve this with a wild rice. Now, unfortunately, because of the current state that the world's in right now, I wasn't able to get a wild rice that I could just cook down, so I had to go and get Uncle Ben's 2-minute rice. So it comes in those little pouches. So that's what we're doing tonight. And then I'm going to have plenty of this to can up. And I can use this on anything. You can also, if you want to turn this into a jam, you can take what's in the jar that I showed you guys earlier. Simple jar. And you can just put it back into the pan. You can add more sugar and reduce it even further. You can blend this. Makes a lovely spread on your toast in the morning if you like. Uncle Ben's wild rice. So we're going to use that as a side dish tonight. That's going to go into the microwave. Not exactly gourmet cooking, but she'll do the trick. All right, guys. As soon as this is done, I'm going to plate this up. I will send you photos of the plated food. I hope everyone stays safe and has a lovely isolation, social distance, quarantine. Stay safe. Wash your hands. Stay in contact with people. Remember that emotional and mental illness is just as important as a physical illness, and loneliness is a real disease. I love you all so much, and I hope to see you soon. Mwah!